You know, we walk past them every single day. Plants. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on inside? There's this hidden world of biological engineering that is just absolutely fascinating. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the secrets of how plants eat and drink using a plumbing system that would make any human engineer seriously jealous.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a big, kind of mind-bending question. I want you to picture a giant redwood tree. It needs to get water from its roots all the way up to its highest leaves, sometimes over 300 feet in the air, and it has to do this every single day. But it has no muscles, no heart, no pump. So how on earth does it defy gravity on such a massive scale? That puzzle? Well, that's exactly what we're going to solve right now.
The answer, it turns out, lies in an incredibly sophisticated and totally silent plumbing system. It's this amazing network of pipes that runs the entire length of the plant, engineered for two very different but equally vital jobs. So let's meet the two stars of the show. First up, you've got the xylem. The easiest way to think of it is as the main water pipe. Its only job is to pull water and minerals up from the ground. Then, on the other side, you have the phloem. This is more like the plant's food delivery service, kind of like Uber Eats, distributing all the sugary food made in the leaves to every other part of the plant that needs energy.
Now, these two systems, the xylem and phloem, are bundled together in what scientists call vascular bundles. And they aren't just in one spot. They form a continuous superhighway that connects the deepest, tiniest root tip all the way to the highest leaf. It's how the plant makes sure every single part of it gets exactly what it needs to survive and grow.
So, to really get a grip on this whole process, we have to start where the water starts. And that means going underground into the complex, hidden world of the plant's roots. A plant doesn't have a mouth, obviously. So, how does it drink? Instead, it has these things, root hair cells. And these are microscopic, single-cell extensions that are constantly pushing out into the soil. Their whole purpose is to create a massive surface area, just to maximize the plant's ability to find and absorb every last drop of available water. So how does the water actually get inside? Well, it's all about balance. The soil is usually jam-packed with water. That's what we'd call a high concentration. But inside the root cell itself, the cytoplasm is full of all kinds of salts and sugars, which means the water concentration is way lower. And, as we all know from basic physics, nature just loves to balance things out. This balancing act has a name you might remember from science class: osmosis. It's basically the passive movement of water across a membrane, like the wall of that root hair cell. The water just automatically flows from where there's more of it, the soil, to where there's less of it, inside the root. It's an effortless, completely automatic process that is the absolute foundation of how every single plant on Earth gets a drink.
Okay, so the water is in the root. Now for the really hard part, the journey upward, fighting against gravity every single inch of the way. This is where that upward superhighway we talked about, the xylem, really comes into play.
The xylem is just a masterpiece of natural engineering. Get this, it's not even made of living cells. It's a hollow tube built from dead cells all joined end to end. And this design is absolutely brilliant because it means there's nothing inside, no organelles, no cytoplasm, to get in the way and block the flow of water. Plus, the walls are reinforced with this super tough substance called lignin, which gives them the strength to handle all that pressure and even helps support the entire plant.
And here, you can get a closer look at that structure. You can actually see how the end walls between the cells have completely disintegrated, creating one long, continuous, uninterrupted pipe. It's literally the perfect pipeline, and it's built by nature.
But, a perfect pipe is pretty useless without some kind of force to move the water through it. So where's the engine that powers this whole trip upward? Well, surprisingly, it's not at the bottom pushing up. It's actually at the very top, pulling.
That engine has a name: transpiration. In the simplest terms, plants breathe through these tiny little pores in their leaves called stomata. And as they do this, water evaporates from the leaf surface and just escapes as water vapor. This loss of water, this plant sweat, if you will, is the key to everything.
This all connects in what's called the transpiration stream. It works like this. As just one water molecule evaporates from a leaf way up at the top, it creates a tiny bit of tension, a little pull. And because all the water molecules are in this long, continuous column inside the xylem, that pull travels all the way down, pulling the next water molecule up to take its place.
So the really crucial piece of the puzzle is this incredible property of water called cohesion. Water molecules just love to stick together.
So, just as the quote says, they're held together by these cohesive forces. When one molecule gets pulled from the top, it literally pulls the one right below it, which pulls the one below that, creating this unbroken chain of water being yanked all the way up from the roots. And it's all powered by simple evaporation from the leaves. Amazing, right?
Now, this whole invisible process, it sounds a bit like magic, but it is 100% real science. And the best part is, we can actually prove it's happening with a very simple experiment that you might have even done yourself back in school.
It's the classic celery experiment, and it couldn't be simpler. You just stick a stalk of celery in some water with food coloring, and you wait. The celery, just doing what it naturally does, will drink the water, and it'll pull that colored dye right up the stem along with it.
And then, when you cut the celery open, you get this. It's clear, visual proof. The colored dye shows up as these little dots. And guess what? Those dots are located exactly where the xylem vessels are. It proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that the xylem is the plant's dedicated water pipe. So that's how a plant drinks. But what about eating? Well, that's the job of that second system, the one running in parallel to the water pipe, the phloem, the plant's food delivery service.
This process is called translocation. So the leaves, they're the kitchens making all the food, mostly sugars like sucrose, through photosynthesis. Translocation is just the active process of moving that food from where it's made, which we call a source, to wherever it's needed for energy or for storage, which we call a sink.
Now here's what's so fascinating. Source and sink aren't fixed roles. So in the summer, the leaves are the source, cranking out food, and the roots are the sink, storing it all up for later. But in the spring, the roles completely reverse. Before any new leaves have grown, the roots become the source, sending all that stored energy upwards to fuel the new buds. This is the big difference. Unlike the one-way street of the xylem, the phloem is a dynamic, multi-directional highway that completely adapts to what the plant needs all year round.
So, from the passive magic of osmosis to the incredible pulling power of transpiration, this silent, invisible engine is chugging away all around us all the time. It's a system that doesn't just keep the plant alive, it literally underpins entire ecosystems. And it really makes you wonder, what other incredible feats of natural engineering are we walking right past every single day without even noticing?